Hello, my most amazing artists. Today is a very exciting day because we finally get to start our tiny art show. That is our 3D tiny art show inspired by McKay Lanker-Beyer, the creator of the Tiny Art Show that travels around the world showing awesome tiny art. You will all get your canvases after you show me your tiny plan on your Post-it. Remember, we're going to be painting these canvases. We weren't able to paint our Post-its, but canvas is made for paint. I cannot wait to start our canvases for our tiny art show so we can have a school tiny art show just like this one. Remember, you will be getting back your Post-it from last week. If you would like to come up with a new idea for a new Post-it note or using a new stamp, you do have to use a new Post-it and come up with that new plan before I give you your canvas. Remember, your finished Post-it note is your ticket to get your canvas. Once you do get your canvas, you are going to write your name and class code on the back and then come up to Miss Q to stamp on your canvas. The reason is because the ink that is up by me is the kind of ink that's special for the canvas. And I want to make sure that you press really hard on that canvas with your stamp and even turn it over and rub the back to make sure that that doesn't happen to you and that the whole print comes off awesome. So please make sure that you wait to stamp on your canvas until you come to me. We will have a stamping station just for that. All right, so after you get your stamp on your canvas, we get to begin painting today. Now, when we are painting our canvas, you do want to make sure that you have sketched out everything else to make it your own before you begin painting. That means if you decided to add something else, which you did have to, say like a background to your stamp, or you just created your own composition or drawing, you do have to finish sketching that out with pencil and then with a Sharpie. We cannot use markers, crayons, or colored pencils on the canvas. That was only for your Post-it note. So please make sure your name and class code is on the back. I would put it on the side of the canvas because it's where it's easiest to write. If you would like to help me out even more, you could write your table team color somewhere on there too. That would be awesome. You will be using acrylic paints to paint your canvas. These paints are permanent, meaning we will want to wear an apron that you can get after this video. So acrylic paints are permanent, which means you need to be very careful. You also are going to be using a teeny tiny brush to paint your canvas because it is teeny tiny. You will only need a little tiny bit of paint on that brush, and you do not need water to make these paints work. That water is only there to wash your brush after you paint if you need. You're going to use teeny tiny brushes to paint in those details. I would highly recommend not painting over top of any of your Sharpie lines so that you don't cover them up. If you accidentally do, we cannot use Sharpie on top of wet paint. You're going to have to wait till next time when it dries. If you do decide to paint over top of some of your Sharpie, just make sure you do a thin layer of paint. Again, you really don't need much on your brush to paint. You just need to do a little dip into the paint and then slide it and glide it on your canvas. Remember, when we are painting, we keep our paintbrush like a ballerina on its tippy toes, never ever scooting around on its bottom because nobody wants to go to the booty scootin' ballet. So make sure that you keep that paintbrush on its tippy toes while you are painting. Then you're going to fill in all your space to the best of your ability without getting paint on your fingers. Remember, keep those fingers out of the danger zone. You don't want your fingers in that danger zone to get paint everywhere. Once you paint in your whole canvas, you're going to leave it on your easel to dry. You could write your name if it dries enough to fit it in there with a Sharpie or write it with paint, but that's a little difficult. So today is all about getting your canvas sketched out, getting your stamp on there if you used a stamp, and making sure your name's on the back and getting started to paint. Always remember to wash your brush in between colors. Do not mix up the paint in the paint trays. Miss Q will not be very happy if you mix up the paints in the paint trays, and you will have to take a painting break. After you're done, leave it on your easel to dry. All right, awesome artists, can't wait to see what you create today on your tiny art for our tiny art show.